Welcome to the weekly live broadcast of Turtle Wow News with Vrograg. I'm your news anchor orc, Vrograg Bitchlayer, here to bring you all the top server news for the week of March 18th, 2025. I've been under the weather a bit, so news will be a little bit more abbreviated than normal. Apologies in advance. I'm the orc, and here's the news. It was a big week for announcements. The Tower of Karazhan patch had its release date given April 3rd, and just a day later, the much sought after South American server will have its release on April 4th. The Tower of Karazhan announcement also came with a teaser trailer released by the team, where the upper reaches of Karazhan can be seen, and the first real hintings of the story therein are mentioned. In it are sightings of Worgen, forces of the blue dragonflights, arcane elementals, and curious creatures resulting from the haunted halls are shown. But the real reveal came at the end of the video. After a close pan shot on a mysterious orb, suddenly the camera shows off a vista from what seems to be Hellfire ramparts and a demon suddenly appearing. While questions remain as to the true nature of this encounter, the message is clear: something is happening in another world, and from the looks of it, Outlands. Of course, this encounter is going to be within a raid scenario, so it isn't likely that Outlands will suddenly be open for players, but it does mean that Turtle Raiders will get their first taste of the ruined hellscape the orcs and broken ones left long ago. Also paired with the big announcement is the coming of the new turtle realm named South Seas. This is the first ever turtle realm to be hosted and customized for the South American audience, with support for Spanish and Portuguese. The server itself is situated right in Lima, Peru, acting as a nice centralized area for the target demographic for interested players. This means that the sun will never set on Turtle WoW as it expands its reach. Or close enough. I'm not sure the Pacific Ocean is big. Anyway, the South Seas also released a phasing schedule for those interested as well. Phase 0 will last 1 month from launch, with just base content available in dungeons. Phase 1 is set to last 2 months with Onyxia, Molten Core, and Concavius. Phase 2 will be 3 months featuring BWL, Lower Karazhan. Phase 3 will be 3 months with ZG, Emerald Sanctum, Azure Ghosts, and the Nightmare Dragons. After that, the Gates of Anchorage will open up following the war effort and last 3 months. Then finally, Phase 5 will happen with Naxxramas and Asterius being available, lasting another 3 months. Presumably, Phase 6 will happen after that, which would open up the upper halls of Karazhan, and by that time, who knows what else might be available. Special thanks to Theory for helping me translate the announcements. If you or someone you know is interested in joining South Seas when it opens, make sure to check out the Turtle WoW South America Discord and other links to get signed up and ready for the realm launch. That is all we have for top news this week. Next up, we have Market Watch. Welcome to Market Watch for this week. I'm your market analyst, Vrograg Bitchlayer. All our data is gathered from numbers provided by WowAuctions.net, the industry leader in auction house reports. I throw it all together to make indexes of the various market sectors, as well as the S&P 200, an index of the 200 biggest and most influential commodities in the economy. So, let's get to the markets. Over on Tel'abim, the Alliance S&P 200 remained roughly flat, only losing a few percent and ending at 5 gold 35, while the Horde saw a much stronger week, pushing up a mind-boggling 44% and ending at 6 gold 10. Even though the Alliance was ahead at the start of the week, it seems like something has gotten into the water over on the Horde side, and prices overall went crazy. The S&P 200 on Nordanaar this week might look a bit strange. WoW Auctions data gathering gnomes were taking a little break, so the data is incomplete for this week, missing the first few days. Despite some of the missing numbers, there was some appreciable growth. Zooming out to the month view, we can see the market rebounding to where it was mid-February. With the news of Kara 40 and its date being known, I thought to take a look at one item in particular, subject to some wild speculation, being needed for arcane resistance sets and possibly, as rumor has it, for 3.5 tier gear. The Arcane Essence. Alongside Tel'abim saw a big jump right after the announcement, going from 10 gold to well over 25, and now around 22. Horde Tel'abim also saw some big moves, going from 9 gold before the announcement straight to 22, and now sitting around the 20 gold in essence as of the writing of the script. Nordanaar, with its bigger population, already saw less of a climb than on Tel'abim, but did have a 45% jump following the Karazhan 40 date being made public. With the new raid only weeks away, many prudent farmers of items needed or believed to be needed for Kara 40 are cashing in, while some are starting to form farming groups for those same materials. So it will be interesting to see if the prices modulate down or get higher as the raid draws closer. Before we wrap up Market Watch, we'll take a look at how shell coins have been doing on the servers. Nordanaar shell coins remain flat, losing 1 silver to 23 gold 98, and in the last 30 days is down 1%. Tel'abim shell coin gained 40 silver this week, closing at 10 gold 86, and on the month is up 1.6%. I'll always advise against going into the shell game of shell coin, but I suppose nothing is risked is nothing gained. That's all we have for Market Watch this week. I hope you found some of the information here useful. Make sure to use wowauctions.net for all of your own market research. Remember to keep an eye on your coin, otherwise someone else will for you. Now, let's check out an abbreviated changelog roundup. We have 2 changelogs to skim through. One is for the development on Turtle 2.0 and Unreal Azeroth, and then we'll switch over to the normal weekly live server changelog for the week. First, let's check out how Unreal Azeroth is coming along with this week's changelog roundup. This week's Unreal Azeroth changelog is on the smaller side with just 9 notes, but development does seem to be continuing. I went ahead to ask clarification as usual, and I did learn a good deal, so I can bring the news to you. One note that really jumped out to me was the inclusion of a global illumination setting. The note seems to imply that a switcher for illumination is a developer tool. Interestingly enough, Cenarius stated that this toggle will be available to players, offering them the option of choosing specific types of lighting through the setting. This level of customization is well beyond the current client and naturally will appear on the final form through modern mode. Likewise, we also see that some kinks were worked out with animations and keyframes. Many animated actions require these flags and keyframes, as they're known, to afford the next animation queued up the opportunity to render smoothly. Don't worry though, I won't do a deep dive on how animation works, because I wanted to take a closer look at those missiles. This week, there was a brief note about missiles, and Cenarius should be applauded for giving some more guidance on what exactly is meant by the term missile. Given that the note was rather open-ended though, I dug in more. Missile support could mean a lot of things. No matter what class you play, missiles play a role. Even paladins can throw a snowball. What is interesting is how much goes into each one of those missiles, a topic that the Unreal Azeroth team is surely coming to grips with. First, a missile references the database for its corresponding visual. Next is timing. A mage having a ball of fire float nearby before casting Fireball or shooting out well after looks awkward. Once the timing is tackled, the UA team spawns in a simple bone to attach the missile's animation to and begin its journey. This entity will start from a logical place, for instance the palm of the hand of a caster. With the missile in the air, the next step is determining where it's supposed to go. In the case of targeted missiles, there is an additional step. You may not know this, but missiles can target either the head or the torso. It varies from ability to ability. Then bam, the missile collides with its designated spot and an impact animation will play. However, here too there can be more complexities. If the missiles make contact, then the target might begin its own animation for getting hit. However, in the case of resists or dodges, there will be no impact animation and instead have a variant which shows the missile missing its mark. It's always enlightening to dig a little deeper on the Unreal Azeroth project. I, for one, had no idea so much was involved when I just throw an axe. So I guess I can understand why the changelog note only said missile support. Alright, that's enough for this week's check-in with the Unreal Azeroth team. Now let's briefly check out the new changes coming to the live server. This is all from the March 11th changelog, which had 25 separate changes, ranging from class adjustments and fixes to other bugs. Today I'm keeping things brief, so no fluff, just the facts you need to know. The hard-to-get ZG Mage class trinket will now help out the newly gained spells and effects for arcane mages, since the trinket traditionally only helps arcane mages themselves. Those relying on Snowball for crowd control and raids for mind controls will note that the knockdown effect was put back in place after a regression oversight. A peculiar bug that granted players in melee with more than 315 weapon skill an oddly high amount of bonus crit was corrected. Sorry rogues, the jig is up. The hairstylists from previous week's mentions were added once more and were working for a time, but between some persisting bugs and non-stop yelling, the GMs had to take them offline. Word is they will be back soon, maybe. And speaking of fashion, some new invisible transmog options are available from fashion vendors. Now a player can hide their chest, leg, and bracers should they want to show off what they have going on underneath. Or just be like little Karen and run around naked everywhere. That completes the changelog brief for last week. The next week's changelog for the live server may be out soon, so make sure to check it out so you can keep on top of all the latest adjustments coming to Turtle WoW. That's all the time we have for today's broadcast. I've been Vrograg Fishlayer. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, make sure to subscribe and like the video. I air these live broadcasts on Tuesday, 4:15 EST. So if you'd like to watch as the news is made, be sure to drop by. Until next time, be good to one another and stay informed, because the deadliest weapon is knowledge.